All right, I think that's going. And I just want to introduce myself. So for those of you who don't know me, if you're new to the Healthy at Home, I am Brittany Hoig. I'm the Director of Health Programs with Special Olympics Wisconsin. I work a lot with in the past I've done a lot with our state games, but more recently I've moved over into our fitness. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to show you one of our tools that we have called Fit5. But before we get started, I do want to just disclaimer, I'm not a healthcare professional, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian or anything, but I'm just sharing some tools that we have. So just want to put that out there that hopefully you all have filled out your medicals and everything, but before you do ever start a workout program or try a new diet, always check with your healthcare provider. They know you best and what you should and shouldn't be doing. So I'm just going to give you some tips, but always refer to your own doctor if you have specific questions. So with that, I'm going to do one poll first before we get completely started, because I kind of want to see where you guys are at with what you know about Fit5. So hopefully this works here. I think it's launched. So have you heard of Fit5? There's a few different options to reply. So pick one that fits you. So yes, I try to follow it every day. Yes, I think so, but I don't really know what it is. Or no, I've never heard of it. So I'll give people a few seconds here to fill this out. Got about half of you responded so far. And I see that Danny Cox is on the call today, who's a athlete health leader. So Danny, I might be calling on you at a few points to help me out, teach some of these things or give your opinion. So I think we got most people answered here. I'm gonna end the poll and share it with you all. So it looks like the majority of you know what it is. And the many of you try to follow it every day. So that's awesome. So this might be a little redundant for you, but I think it's okay to go over it again. It's always a good refresher to go over different health and fitness tips for everyone. Let's never have too much of that. So I know there's a couple of you that have never heard of it. So hopefully you learned something new today, and we'll try it in the near future. So I'm going to turn off the poll. And I'm going to try to share my screen. Still new with all this tech savvy stuff, guys, so bear with me. Let's do this. And I'm going to open up. So this is our website. For those that haven't visited in a while, it might look a little different. I just wanted to show you where the Fit5 is on our website so that you guys can access it anytime you want. So this is the main page that comes up when you type in specialolympicswisconsin.org, and you want to go to the health tab, and if you scroll down a couple, there's Fit5 right in front. So we're going to click on that, and it brings you to this page. You scroll down a little bit, it has the Fit5 guide, which I'm going to open up in a second. It has some fitness cards, which I'll mention. It's mentioned in the guide, but there's some additional exercises in the cards, and a tracker, which I'll talk about as well. So I'm going to open up the Fit5 guide, and I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I can see a full page. There we go. So Fit5, I'm going to scroll down just a couple slides because it's going to tell us what it is. So the goal of Fit5 is to exercise 5 days a week, eat 5 total fruits and vegetables per day, and drink 5 bottles of water per day. So 5, 5, 5. Trying to make it simple for everyone to remember. Hopefully that's easy to remember. And then we're going to talk about each one of those things a little bit more as we go through the guide. So first up is exercise. I think you all know what exercise is. You guys are athletes and do a lot of exercise, I'm sure. But we're going to talk about a few different types of exercise: endurance, strength, flexibility, and balance. So these are all important to be good athletes and improve your sport performance. And, oh, okay, sorry, something was flashing at me. I just want to make sure what I saw. So first up, we're going to talk about endurance. So endurance is kind of a fancy word for really just your body's ability to move for long periods of time. So think like running, biking, dancing, things like that. Things that you're doing for longer periods of time. And when you do these things, when you practice them, they'll help you with your sports being able to do them longer without stopping or with taking fewer breaks. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about some examples that we can do at home, and I'm going to make you try some, so look out. So the first example they have is jumping jacks. I'm not going to make you do that one. The next example they have is some quick punches. So this one I actually want you guys to try. So I'm going to unshare my screen just for a second because I want to see everybody do it. So let's see here. My videos, there it goes. My videos weren't popping up. So punches. So this can be done, you can do it standing or you can do it in your chair. I'm going to stay in my chair because I don't have a lot of room where I am. So in order to get our heart rate up, we want to be moving a lot. So we're going to start with our hands in front of us. And I'm watching y'all, so y'all better do it. I see a few. Okay. And we're going to take one arm and we're going to reach across our body and twist and bring it back. And then we're going to do the other arm across. And I want you to kind of go a little bit faster, switching every other arm. See a few of you doing it, a few of you not, that's all right. And if you want, you can go pretty fast, but remember to rotate your whole body and reach across. And if you're like me, you're probably already sweating a little bit, getting our heart rate up. So that's something really easy you can do at home. You can do it standing, you can do it sitting, whichever you prefer. So thank you all for indulging and trying it with me. I'm going to share my screen again. So it explains exactly what to do here. And so you can give that a try on your own. Another one, I'm not going to make you do this one, but another one you could do is marching and swinging your arms. So some of you might want to run in place and you can do that, but if not, you can just march as well. So just lifting your legs up and marching will also help get your heart rate up. The next type of exercise we're going to talk about is strength. So strength is really making your body do work. So lifting things, jumping higher, throwing farther, sprinting faster. It can help you get more power behind some of your moves. So strength, you could be using your body weight. You could be using heavy weights like dumbbells or barbells. There's a bunch of different options you can do for strength exercises. So a few here they have listed is a leg raise. So you can either do this with or without a chair. But you can stand and lift your leg in front of you. You can lift it out to the side. It's a good way to strengthen your legs. And there's specific instructions here that you can read on your own. Another one is doing push-ups. So some of you might be able to get on the floor and do them on your toes, and that's awesome. But if you can't, there's other options. So you can do them on your knees, or you can lean up against a wall and do it like this person is doing here. And another option for strength is doing, they call them curl ups or sit ups or crunches or whatever you want to call them. So you can get on the floor and curl up using your abs, using your midsection to curl you up to touch your knees like this. So the one that I'm going to have you do, it's actually not listed in here, but I kind of made it up because it's easier to do in our setting, is called a squat. So I'm already sitting in a chair, so I'm going to do a modified squat, and it's just really sit to stand. So we're sitting and we're going to stand up. So we're going to have both our feet flat on the floor. And I almost forgot to stop sharing so I can see you all do it. So you're going to have your feet flat on the floor. You want to make sure you have a good balance. And then you're just going to stand up and sit back down. I see some of you trying it. That's awesome. And if you wanted to make it harder, you could not sit all the way down and just kind of hover over your chair, or do it without a chair completely. You just want to make sure you're doing whatever's right for you. Make sure you have enough space. So thank you for those who tried it. Don't worry, I won't get you too sweaty today. All right, back to the screen. All right, the next one we have up is flexibility. So this one is really just your body's way of moving easily in all directions. So think about like reaching and touching your toes, things like that. So you want to keep your body flexible so that way we can prevent injury. It's really important when we're playing sports, so we don't want to get injured. So if we make sure we're stretching before and after our workouts and before and after practices, it's really important to make sure we're staying loose and preventing injuries. So some examples they have here are yoga, static stretching, which is really just a fancy way of saying doing something still, like holding it for a long period of time. And then dynamic stretching is doing it while you're moving. So this person's kind of doing some arm circles. So some examples they have, doing a calf stretch against a wall, doing child's pose, which is something people do in yoga, or bringing your knee to your chest like this person's doing. So I'm gonna have you guys do, kind of really jumping back and forth on the screen share here. I'm gonna have you guys do a tricep stretch. So who knows where their tricep is? Can you guys point to it if you know where it is? I see a couple people holding up their arms. You're right, it's the back of your arm. So tricep is the back and your bicep is the front. So we're gonna stretch the tricep and we're gonna lift it up. So I guess I'll back up a little bit. So if you can just go for it, go for it. But if it's a little confusing, you're gonna reach one arm in front of you and bend your elbow. You're gonna take your other hand and hold onto your elbow and just gently lift it up. You don't have to go really high, really far like that. You don't want to hurt yourself. Just gently lift it until you feel a nice little stretch behind. Doesn't have to be a lot. And of course, what we do on one side, we got to do on the other. So you're going to bend your elbow, take your other hand, and gently lift it up. Nice. Some of you clearly have done this before because you guys are looking great. Awesome. That's it. Simple as that. So that's just one example. The fitness cards that I pointed out before have a lot of different examples of all of these things. All right, we got one more to talk about, so I'm going to share my screen again. We got balance. So balance is really important to make sure that we're staying in control of our body, in control of our movements when we're playing sports. So it can really help us be more coordinated and avoid falling, which is really important. We want to stay safe. So same thing as flexibility, there's yoga helps with balance. We can do balance standing still, or we can do balance moving. So here are a couple examples. Single leg stance, so that's just standing on one leg. Leg swings, so you're standing on one leg and swinging one leg back and forth. If this is too hard, you can always hold on to a chair. And this one's walking on a line. So you don't need a line if you don't have a line, or you can use a sidewalk, that works too. But really just going heel to toe, one in front of the other. So we're gonna try one. I picked single leg stance. So if you can, stand up, and I'm just gonna give you a few tips. So if that's too hard, I want you to hang on to something. It could be a wall, it could be a chair, ideally something that doesn't move. So if you're sitting in a chair like mine that twists around, that's probably not gonna be too helpful. If it's too easy, I want you to close your eyes, but be careful. So make sure you have a wall nearby maybe to catch in case you get a little tipsy. So I'm gonna stand up, and you can't really see my legs, but I'm gonna stand on one leg. And this is a little easy for me, so I'm gonna try to close my eyes, but I have my wall behind me in case I need it. Ooh, it made it a little harder. I'm gonna open my eyes so I can see you all do it. How is it going? You guys are looking pretty steady. Nice. All right, I'm gonna try what we do on one side, we gotta do on the other. So try the other leg if you haven't. And sometimes one side of your body might be easier than the other, and that's okay. We'll just work on both of them. So I'm gonna try closing my eyes on this side. Ooh, this side's a little more wobbly. But that can be something fun you can do. Challenge yourself at home. While we're all home here, staying safe, that can be some fun things we can do at home. I'm gonna go quick back to the screen. Just share the last few slides on exercise. So I just want to remind everybody, exercise is fun, or at least it should be. It shouldn't be a punishment. It shouldn't be something that you're dreading, that you don't want to do. So a few tips to make it fun. The first one's a little tricky right now because we're trying not to be in groups, but exercise with a friend. You can maybe call them, or if you have the ability to video call them, you can have a video up and you can exercise at the same time. Or hopefully you have somebody at home you can exercise with, make your parents do it with you. You can, when we're back to practice, you can ask your coach if you can maybe take the lead. That could be something fun to do. Trying something new, that's always a fun idea. One time I tried rock climbing for the first time and it was actually really fun. And it was a really good workout. I was very sore. And lastly, track your improvements. Write down a goal that you have. Maybe for me, my balance was really bad on my left side. So that could be something I write down. I want to improve my balance. So I work on that. And then I can say, you know, after a week or 2 or 3 or however long, if that gets better, well, that's an improvement and that's exciting and something to celebrate. So it can be fun that way too. Here's just an example of what your schedule could look like. You don't obviously have to follow this. This is just an example. But if we are trying to exercise for 5 days each week, it's pretty easy to do. So here's an example. It includes a practice. Maybe you're going for a walk with a friend and doing some balance exercises. And it's definitely okay to take a day off. You don't have to practice or you don't have to exercise every day. If you do, great, but you don't have to. There's biking, there's group exercises, a walk with mom, there's all sorts of things. And one thing I want to point out, if you look on this Tuesday, they actually did it 2 times. So they did something, they walked with a friend after work, and then they did some balance exercises before bed. So it doesn't all have to be at the same time. If you want to do some stretches right away when you wake up in the morning to get going in the day, great. And if you want to do some more stretches before bed, that's awesome. Put those together and you got your day's workout in. So just think about that next time you're trying to get your 5 days of exercise each week. So I'm going to stop sharing just for a second so I can see all your lovely faces. By a show of hands, who thinks that they would try some of these exercises at home? Can I see your hands? I know not everybody's on a video, but for those that are, I see some hands. All right, good. And now I have a little fun poll for everybody. Hopefully I can get this to work. So I'm going to test your knowledge. So number 1, these are all going to be true or false going forward. So number 1, true or false? I have to exercise every day. Is that true or not true? And number 2, if I want to get better at the sports that I play, I should exercise outside of my sports practice. True or false? Give you guys a few seconds here. You guys are quick to vote. It's good. All right, just about 5 more seconds. Get your votes in. All right, we'll share these results. Okay, so number 1. So I kind of was a little tricky on these ones, so I want to go over the answers. So I have to exercise every day. It's actually false. It's great if you do, and so for those of you that said true, it is kind of a tricky question because you want to exercise as much as you can, but you don't have to. And I think a lot of people think they have to exercise all the time, every day, for hours and hours and hours. And yeah, we want to be active, but don't stress too much about it, right? You don't want it to be a chore. You want it to be something that you want to do. And then the second question, if I want to get better at the sports that I play, I should exercise outside of my sports practice. Looks like you guys got it right away. True. So in order for us to get better at the sports that we play, not only do we have to go to practice and practice that sport, But if we do some exercises at home, we can get better too. So I encourage you all to try some of these. The Fit 5 guide is right on our website. The fitness cards, I'll show you that when I go back to my screen. They have a lot more examples of exercises that you can do. So if you get tired of the ones from the Fit 5 guide, you can move up different intensity levels in the fitness cards. So those are a great resource. All right, I've done enough talking. I want to hear from you guys. So I think I might pick on Danny to go first. Danny doesn't know that I was going to call on him, but Jeannie told me that you were on the call, so I want to hear from you. So Danny, what kind of exercise do you like to do?
I normally will walk around Irvine Park at least 1 or 2 days a week.
Nice. I like walking too. Today is a little rainy where I am, but I've been trying to get out for a walk as much as I can. It's really nice. All right, who else would like to share? What do you guys like to do for exercise? I don't see any hands. Nobody's eager. Oh, there's one.
Oh.
Go ahead. Yep. I don't know your name because it has S Blum as the name, so I'm not sure what your name is, but you're raising your hand there. Go ahead.
I like basketball.
You like basketball? That's
Basketball.
awesome.
Yes.
Do you play on a team for Special Olympics?
No.
No, we should get you on a team. Do you do basketball skills?
Yes.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. Does anyone else want to
Right.
share what they do?
Miranda does. Or no, Melinda, sorry.
I'll let you do it. I think you saw it.
I think she has to unmute on her end.
Oh, Melinda, I think you might be muted. You want to unmute on your side? Or maybe type it in the chat if you can't get the mute to work. Was there anything in the chat, Missy, while we were going over that?
Nope. Oh, there she goes. Melinda.
Like to basketball and bowling.
Awesome.
Basketball and bowling.
That's great. Looks like we got a lot of athletes on the call, like doing a lot of sports. That's good.
Looks like Mike has his hand raised. Let me find to unmute him. Where'd he go?
I think I found him. I think he might.
Yeah.
Mike, do you want to unmute on your? Oh, there you go.
Got it.
Yeah, I like to take walks and do bike rides when it's nice.
Awesome.
So I kind of get out when it's nice outside.
What do you do when it's raining? Do you do anything inside?
Kind of walk in the house.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the best we can do, huh?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, well, I'm gonna keep moving on to nutrition. So I'm gonna share my screen again. And actually, before I do that, I'm gonna back up just a hair, because I wanna show you these fitness cards. So while we're still talking about exercise, so we were in the Fit 5 guide before, but there's also another resource called the fitness card. So I'm gonna open that up quick, because we won't go through each one, but I just want to show you what it is. So you'll recognize some of the moves that we did. So there's the jumping jacks that you saw. So they break it down into different levels. So this is level 1 endurance, and there's a few different options. And if you keep scrolling through, there's a whole bunch of options. So I won't go through everything here because that would take a while. There's a lot of pages, but feel free to look at those at home and try some out. Let me know how it goes. So I'm going to go back into the Fit 5 guide, and I'm going to zoom out just a smidge. All right, gotta scroll fast here through where we are. All right, so now we're going to talk about food and nutrition. So if you remember, five total fruits and vegetables every day. That's what we're aiming for. So the Fit 5 guide talks a little bit more about healthy options. So this is one of my favorite pages. So it talks about healthy food. I get a lot of questions about what are some healthy options? What are healthy things that I should be eating? So this is a great page to look at and talks about how we should fill our plate. So there's different examples of grains, having whole grain foods, different dairy, low-fat options, fruits and vegetables, of course, different meats, and water. So I'm not going to read it all to you. I think you guys can check it out on your own, but there's a lot of great options here. So when you're making your grocery list, you can take a look at this and see what you want to add. The next page talks about what your plate should actually look like. And there's a few different resources out there. Some of you may have heard of My Plate and things like that. This really simplifies it. And so it talks about making half of your plate fruits or vegetables, fruits and vegetables. So we should be mostly eating fruits and vegetables, and then everything else on our plate can be foods like whole grains or dairy or protein. So as long as we have a lot of vegetables, we're good to go. We're going to talk a little bit more about portion and what that looks like. But there's also some nice tips here about saving junk food like desserts and chips and soda for special occasions. I mean, it's okay to have them once in a while, but if we're having them every day, it's probably not the best choice. We can add more fruits and vegetables to each of our meals, and we can keep snacks healthy and small. So we're going to talk about snacks too in a little bit. This page is pretty fun. So this talks about portions. So as you can see here, a portion of fruit should be about the size of a baseball. So that's what this means here. So this baseball is, if you can kind of think of a baseball in your head of what that looks like, or if you have one at home, that's how much fruit you should have for one serving. That's how much rice or pasta you should have. And same thing with a serving of vegetables. So I think a lot of times we probably overserve ourselves. If you think about a baseball, it's actually not that big. So if our plate is full of pasta, it's probably more than one serving. So think about that next time when you're having dinner or lunch. Same thing here. The next one they have is a hockey puck. So again, if you have one at home, that's great. But I can also think of like a deck of cards. I actually have one right here. Is good for like the size of a serving of bread or beans or meat. So next time, again, when you have your plate out, think about that. And then the last example they have is a golf ball. So a little bit smaller. That would be a serving of cheese or nuts or nut butter, things like that. So this is a really fun page to kind of refer back to when you're making your meals. The next one, and I get this question a lot, of what is a good lunch? What's a good healthy dinner? What should I be having for breakfast? Well, here's your answer. This is the best. So it gives us a bunch of different options. I won't read them all to you, but you can see here there's some oatmeal with berries, a nice healthy sandwich with lots of vegetables on it, and it looks like for dinner is a stir fry with lots of vegetables too. So there's lots of different options. I really encourage you guys to check out this page when you're not sure what to have for lunch or dinner. There's some really good stuff in there. And I get this question a lot too. I get a lot of nutrition questions. So different snack ideas. So I think a lot of people, when they hear the word snack, they think of junk food, like chips is probably the most common one. But snacks can be healthy. It's okay to have a snack. It just depends what it is. So here are some different options. I actually had apple slices and peanut butter yesterday for my afternoon snack. But these are a lot of great options you can have. Fruits and vegetables are always a good idea when you're looking for a snack. This is just an example of what your whole day could look like. It doesn't have to be this, of course, but this is just an example of how to get in your 5 fruits and vegetables every day. So for this person, they had a banana with their breakfast, so that's 1. At lunch, they had some vegetable soup with some extra vegetables on the side, so that counts for 2 and 3 for their total count. They had a snack of some grapes with almonds, so that's their 4th fruit or vegetable of the day. And then for dinner, they had some vegetables with their salmon and sweet potatoes, so that's their 5th vegetable. So as you can see, it's kind of easy to get those 5 in as long as we have them at each of our meals. So before I move on to hydration, I have some things to share. So first, I'm going to start my poll here. You guys are going to love polls by the end of this. All right, so same thing as last time. We're doing some true or false. So number 1, I should be eating mostly fruits and vegetables. True or false? Number 2, it's really hard to have a fruit or vegetable at every meal. True or false? Give you guys about a minute or so to think about those. All right, maybe about 10 more seconds. Last minute voters. All right, what's about study? Here we go. So I think you guys are pretty dang smart. You're listening closely. So number 1, I should be eating mostly fruits and vegetables. That's true. As long as, I'll just leave it at that. You should be eating mostly fruits and vegetables. It can get really complicated sometimes. I know different diets say different things, and I don't know, you always hear about having carbs and proteins and this and this and this, and that's just really confusing. So just as long as you're having mostly fruits and vegetables, you're doing all right. So that's what I stick to. Number 2, it's really hard to have a fruit or vegetable at every meal. You guys, this was a little bit trickier because this one was false. It's actually really easy to have a fruit or vegetable at every meal. Even if you're not sure how to get a fruit or vegetable into the meal that you're making, maybe just have something on the side. Sometimes I do that. If I'm not sure what to have for lunch, I'll just have an apple on the side of whatever I'm eating. And so I know I'm getting that, that fruit in for that meal. Same thing with breakfast. If you're having oatmeal is really healthy, that's good. But maybe have a banana on the side or put some berries in your oatmeal. It's really easy just to add something really quick on the side. So I'm gonna stop sharing. And once again, I've been talking a lot, so now I'm gonna open it up to you guys. So who would like to share what they had today, healthy, hopefully, for breakfast or lunch or what they're planning for dinner? So I wanna hear what you guys are, what you guys are eating. Nobody wants to share. Oh, there's a couple hands. Trinity, you want to go?
I had like fruit snacks. Are those healthy? Fruit snacks and granola bar. Granola bar I had.
Those ones are actually really tricky. So without getting into too many details, fruit snacks, it depends on the fruit snacks. Sometimes they're really sugary and they're more like
strawberry.
Yeah, sometimes they can be more like, if they're gummy, they can be more like candy. Yeah. So I like to stick to just plain fruit because then I know that they're healthy. So that's what I recommend. And granola bars can be really healthy, but sometimes they can be so sugary, they're almost like a candy bar. So you have to be a little bit careful if it had a lot of chocolate on it or, you know, something like that. That's a trickier one. So it's not a bad choice, but just got to be a little bit careful depending on what it is. But I like your snack options. Those are good.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to share? Oh, Andrew, there you are. Go ahead, Andrew.
I had a smoothie made with fruits.
Nice. I had a smoothie today too.
Yes.
What did you have in yours?
I also had sushi meal yesterday with fried rice.
All right.
And
What was in your smoothie?
as well.
What kind of fruit do you put in your smoothie, Andrew?
Strawberries and bananas and peanut butter and milk.
Nice.
Ooh,
that sounds tasty. I put, let's see, what did I put in mine? Bananas. They were frozen bananas, frozen cherries.
Ooh.
Those are nice because they taste like berries, but they don't have seeds. So I really like those. And I put a little bit of spinach in mine too. All right. Anyone else wanted to share? You can type it in the chat too if you don't want to talk. All right. Missy, what did you have? Can I put you on the spot?
No, you can. I had a smoothie too, but mine was I cut up an apple. I put some almonds in it, a little bit of cinnamon, and a banana and yogurt.
Nice. Cinnamon, that's a good one. Forget to put in like stuff like that, like spices or little, even like mint or vanilla extract sometimes I've heard is good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Lastly, we're going to talk about hydration or drinking water, really. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. And we're going to talk about hydration. So we're still in the Fit 5 guide. This is all here in one spot, which is really nice. And for hydration, they really talk about drinking 5 bottles of water every day. So I know it can get a little tricky with, well, how big of a bottle and how many ounces, and don't try to overthink it. It says here that the bottle should be about 15 to 20 ounces. It usually says on a water bottle, or if you have a reusable one, it'll often say on the packaging how big it is, but just try to get 5 bottles of water and do the best you can with that. So one thing we want to talk about is what happens when you don't drink water is you get dehydrated. So what that means is your body is getting rid of water too fast and not drinking enough. So we want to make sure that we, excuse me, that we're drinking enough water. So there's a few signs that you can, that you'll feel with your body to know that you're dehydrated, and they're listed here. You'll feel thirsty. So as soon as you feel thirsty, go get a drink of water because you're probably just starting to get dehydrated. Sometimes you'll feel tired or sluggish. You might have a headache. This always happens to me. If I get a headache, I know I'm dehydrated because I never get headaches except when I'm dehydrated. Sometimes your mouth will get really dry, or when you go to the bathroom, your urine is usually a dark yellow, or hopefully it's not brown, but it's usually darker. So that's a definite sign that you're dehydrated. What happens when we're dehydrated is that our overall function can go down, especially when we're playing sports. So can you imagine playing a basketball game and you're feeling tired or you have a headache? Well, that probably is not going to help you play basketball very well. So we want to make sure that we're staying hydrated so that we can not only be healthy, but play sports better too. So this one, I love this page because people ask me a lot about what different beverages are healthy. And so this uses a stoplight to kind of help us decide what's healthy or not. So red means no, stop, don't drink that. So some things under the red category are sodas, energy drinks, sports drinks. I know oftentimes people think Gatorade is actually a healthy option. It's actually full of a lot of sugar, so avoid them. The yellow categories are things you can drink, and it's okay as long as we're only drinking a little bit of them, so a moderate amount. So things in that category would be low-fat milk or 100% juice. Those can be very healthy for you, but if we're drinking a lot of them, there's actually some sugar in there, so it can be bad if you have too much of it. So the green category is we're gonna drink as much as we can of it because it's super healthy and there's no problems. Water, 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 drink all the water. I know sometimes people don't like plain water. It can be kind of boring, or people don't like the taste of it or whatever, but you can flavor it. You can flavor your water. There's a lot of sparkling water out there, which is fine for you. You can also add fruit to your water bottle. Even if it's just lemons or strawberries or cucumbers or whatever you want, you can add to your water to make it a little bit more tolerable if you don't like plain water. Here's an example of someone's day and how much water they drink. So as you can see, they're drinking throughout the day. This is a really good diagram to show you because if you can't drink all your water at once. You need to drink it throughout the day. So if you think about watering a plant, if we dumped a giant barrel of water on a plant it would probably drown. It'd be too much water at once. But what we need to do is water that plant throughout the week or throughout the day. So we need to make sure it's getting enough water when it needs it. And so just like plants, humans need water consistently throughout the entire day. So have some at breakfast, have some at lunch, in between breakfast and lunch, have some when you wake up, before you go to bed, things like that. So try to have a little bit of water throughout the day. And a reminder, 5 bottles of water, that's what we're shooting for. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
Hey, Brittany, before you keep going, I just want to mention in the chat that some people had some healthy things today. Kyle said he had strawberries for breakfast, and Becca made herself a fruit salad, a cup of fruit salad.
Nice. I'm just reading here. Is Danny still on? There's Danny. Danny, look alive. I'm coming at you. I'm gonna unmute you. Oop, there we go. So you might not know this, but Jeannie's on the call and she's giving me some private tips behind the scenes. And so she wanted me to ask you, she wanted me to ask you about in the athlete health messenger, you guys learned about what color is your urine. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So, so what that Fit 5 is basically is when you go to the bathroom, do you check your urine? And so if it's clear, that means that you're hydrated. If it's like light brown, whatever, then you're like, you're on the edge of being dehydrated. If it's dark brown, you're definitely dehydrated.
Exactly.
So when the next time that you go to the bathroom, check your urine.
I love it. All right.
Brittany,
Oh, go ahead.
I just say Mike is raising his hand. Mike, you have to unmute yourself.
I actually know Mike. That's why he's probably.
No. Mike, did you have something to add? I don't see him. Maybe. Oh, there he is. It's pineapple count. Yes. So pineapple is a fruit. And I actually love pineapple. So sometimes I'll put frozen pineapple in my smoothies as a nice way to add some more fruit. Pineapple could be good if you add it to your water. It's pretty juicy. It could add a nice flavor to your water, or just have it plain. So yeah, pineapple is a great option. I got one more poll about water, and then I got a couple tips for drinking water that I'm gonna also have Danny help me with, because I think you might know at least one of them. So
Okay.
let's start with the poll. Let me get it going here. Okay, so same thing again, true or false. Number 1, feeling thirsty, tired, or having a headache may be a sign that you are dehydrated and need to drink more water. True or false? Number 2, water is the best beverage choice. True or false? It's about half of you have voted. I think we got some staff on the call, so that might be majority of other folks. About 5 more seconds here, get your last minute votes in. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so you guys got it again. Number 1, feeling thirsty, tired, or having a headache may be a sign that you are dehydrated and need to drink more water. That is true. So it's right there in the Fit 5 guide. If you are ever feeling thirsty, tired, headaches, dry mouth, as Danny mentioned, if your urine is starting to turn a little bit darker, that's a sign you need to drink more water. So good job. And the last one, you all got this one, 100%. Water is the best beverage choice. Try to keep that one easy so it was, you'd all get it right. All right. So I have a couple of tips on water, and then I'm going to open it up for just general questions. So I know sometimes it can be hard to get all of our water in throughout the day. I know it is for me. So I wanted to show what my water bottle looks like. And Danny, do you know what this all means? You looking at? I can't tell if you're looking at my screen or not. If you're frozen. Is he frozen or am I frozen?
You're not.
Because all I can see is the pole. That's all I can see.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot. Well, then I'll explain it. Well, I got my water bottle here and it's got some rubber bands on it. Do you know what I mean by rubber bands on my water bottle?
Yes, I do.
All right. Why don't you tell me what it means?
So if you have a water bottle in your house and you take a rubber band and you wrap it around the water bottle, 5 of them, and you put them on top of the water bottle. So as soon as you fill it up and you drink it down, you fill it up again, you take one rubber band and don't take it off the water bottle, but put it towards the bottom of the water bottle. And then as soon as you reach down to 5, that means that you had 5 water bottles in one day.
Exactly right. Awesome. Thank you. So as you can see, I only have one done. So I got to get drinking.
Brittany, I think Becca's raising her hand.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Becca.
Mhm.
Do you have a question?
You have a question?
Do you have?
No question?
No question? Do you have a water bottle that you like to drink from?
Why did I drink? I'm right here.
Can I see it? I got
Yeah.
mine.
Am I?
Oh, and you have a straw. That's great.
I like having a straw too.
Yeah.
Ooh, and I see DJ's got his
DJ.
soda water bottle. That's awesome. Yes, great. So I got 2 more tips. So for drinking more water. So one is I saw this on some fitness instructor's page and I thought, what a great idea. So it's called the 10 gulp rule. So what that means is when you're drinking your water, rather than just taking one quick sip, take 10 sips or 10 gulps. It'll go by so much faster. If you think about how many gulps are in my water bottle, if I take 10 at a time, I'm going to get through my water bottle a lot faster than just taking a sip at a time. So that's one tip. The second tip is water first. So before you eat your breakfast, before you eat your lunch or your dinner or your snacks, drink maybe not a full glass. If you want to drink a full glass, great, but just drink some water first. Oftentimes, especially when we're snacking, we're actually not hungry, we're thirsty. So if you drink some water first, that's a good tip. It helps fill you up a little bit, and then you probably won't eat as much too. So extra bonus. So that's all I have. I got a couple plugs I want to do at the end here, but first I want to hear from you. Any questions about Fit 5, exercise, nutrition?
I think Becca's raising her hand again. Becca, did you have a comment?
I like water.
You like water? That's awesome.
The opinion.
I see Mike's raising his hand. Mike, you have to unmute yourself.
Guys recommend 15 minutes a day. So
Ooh, it's really hard to hear you, Mike. You're really quiet for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Oh, there we go.
do you guys recommend 60 minutes a day for like taking a walk or going for a bike ride?
Yeah, the Fit 5 guide says 30 minutes, and I think that's a good starting point. If you can get more, that's great, but 30 minutes is definitely, I would rather have you do 30 minutes 5 times a week than 60 minutes once or twice. So I would spread it out. So 60 minutes is great, but 30 is what you're shooting for. Good
I
question.
I competed in the virtual summer games this year.
Awesome. Hey, you already got one of my plugs. Perfect. um, so while we're on the topic, I'm going to plug it now. So for those of you that haven't heard, we are doing a virtual summer games. You have through this weekend to compete. All the information is on our website, but basically we have a few different events that you can compete in. You can practice at home, take your time or measurement, depending on what the event is, and submit it online. And we'll send out certificates and whatnot afterwards. So all the details and all the events and everything are on our website. So you should definitely check that out. And hopefully Mike will have some competition with all of you guys going on our website. A couple other things, we are having a virtual torch run as well. So if you're into walking, it doesn't have to be a run, it can be a walk. You can sign up to do that or get your family to sign up or whoever you'd like. We are having a opening ceremonies online next week on Thursday. Again, all this information is on our website. A few other things coming up. We have a few more of these SOWI Live events. So we have one tomorrow is the Sportscast. So if you haven't signed up for that already, please do. And then we're going to have some more healthy at homes. We have one next week at 1 o'clock with our health promotions clinical director is going to be talking about COVID-19 and all of the things related to that. And then we're actually going to have a workout next Thursday as well. So Thursday is going to be a busy day next week. We got our healthy at home at 1 o'clock, a workout at 4 o'clock, and our opening ceremonies at 7. So all of our events that we have are listed on our website on our events calendar. So if you didn't get a chance to jot them down while I just said it, head over there and you can see everything that we have to offer. We also have some athletic directors doing some activity hours on Wednesdays. Those have been really fun with trivia and scavenger hunts and things. So check all of it out. There's a workout Tuesday at 4. Thanks, Michaela. I think there might be 2 workouts then, because I think the one I was thinking of is Thursday. So even great. We have so many things. check out our website. And if you haven't already, join our Facebook group. It's called SOWI Fitness at Home. I try to post every day a different topic, whether it's physical activity or nutrition, or you guys can post whatever you guys are doing at home. I love to see what you guys are doing. So join that as well. I think that's all I got. Thanks for joining. We're pretty much at 2 o'clock, so that was good timing. It looks like Trinity might have a question. Go ahead, Trinity.
Can you send us if we do actually participate? If we do you send us the reward afterwards, or what do we do?
Yep, for the virtual summer games, if you complete the competition and submit it online, you will receive an email with a certificate.
Okay.
Yep. Good question. Mike, are you raising your hand? Go ahead.
I didn't see the SOWI Sportscast on the Special Olympics Wisconsin page. I don't see that up there.
I will double check, but if you've signed up for it in the past, you'll get the Zoom information anyway.
I have signed up for it in the past.
Okay, so you'll get the information, but I'll double check our calendar, make sure it's on there. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, I didn't see that up there.
All right. Well, great, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you had a good time and learned something, hopefully, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
I'm on the calendar, Brittany.
Is it on there?
Tomorrow is the 29th. Yes. No. Actually, it's not.
No.
There's young athletes, virtual summer games, and the Strong Minds that SOI does at 2.
It's on Wednesday on the calendar. I don't know why.
Yeah, I just saw that before the show started. But it was put on
Me too.
Wednesday and not Friday.
Oh.
Mike will always tell you if something's not on the calendar. Every time.
All right, I'm gonna just do a couple.
I just put people in the waiting room that weren't leaving.
I know, I like removed people. Can someone, I think you can go on and edit the calendar if someone wants to.
I can do that.
Okay.
Thanks for the tips, Jeannie.
You know, I wanted him to say, I couldn't get myself unmuted or I would have chimed in. I wanted him to talk about how we hand out a piece of paper at the beginning of the workshop and we have everybody go in and use the restroom. And then as they drink their water throughout the day, we have them color the chart in. But he had the main point, but that is it. Yeah, he did great. I had that mixed up. I sent you that tip at the end. There's an athlete from Manitowoc, and maybe you guys know him, that lost 40 pounds. Do you know who he is? And I was thinking it was Mike Schultz. I have that in my head as his name. And I
Mike
sent
is
you that. Menominee Red Cedar, right?
Mike is, yes.
Yeah. So I have him mixed up with whoever it is in Manitowoc. So that tip I sent you at the end was wrong. I'm glad you didn't call on him. I do know Mike. I saw him at the plunge, in fact, and he came to, I don't know if he came to the athlete health message or not, but there is some athlete from Manitowoc that keeps showing up on my Facebook page who's lost 40 pounds. Do you know who I'm talking about? Anybody? No?
No, but if you can find out, that would be a good story for Tommy to investigate, because he likes stuff like that he could do to highlight it and inspire or something.
Yeah.
Brittany, good job. That was great.
Yeah.
You got to run though, don't you?
I
Did
do.
you see
I have to go do a virtual SoFit. I'm gonna go lead a workout.
And you saw Lisa Hoffman was on from Nebraska. Did you see that?
Yeah, and she was talking to me privately on there going, I'm not a creeper. I just want to get ideas. I'm like, it's fine. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Nice job.